Hello and welcome to the Stratazine podcast. I'm Corey Kerr. Joining me today are Jonah, Sabra, Ryan, Nathan, Sunny, and Genevieve. Our topic today is building an online presence while in college. We will dive deep into how to build an online presence and why it's important. Nate looked into why an online presence is essential to all college students during this period of their lives. Nathan, would you like to elaborate on what you learned?
Absolutely. In the professional world, first impressions are everything. The brand that you create for yourself plays a significant role in how people and future employers perceive you. So let's roll that clip.
The importance of an online presence. Before you ever shake a hand, someone has probably already searched your name. What do they find? An empty profile, an old meme, or something that actually helps you? Your online presence answers that question before you get a say in it. According to a career builder survey covered by Business News Daily, of more than 1,000 hiring managers, 70% of employers now research candidates on social media before making a hiring decision. Nearly half said they are less likely to call back a candidate that they can't find online at all. That's because social media has quietly infused itself into professional life. In fact, Kinsta's research shows LinkedIn has grown past 1 billion members across more than 200 countries. For many recruiters, your profile there now works as a second resume, just one you don't fully control. So what are employers actually scanning for? Business News Daily's breakdown of recruiter habits shows it's mostly red flags first. Things like offensive comments or explicit material, but they also notice positives. Professional accomplishments, volunteer work, and communication skills that make someone stand out. A field experiment by career research firm Resume Go submitted over 24,000 nearly identical resumes to real job postings, changing only the LinkedIn link attached. According to their findings, applicants with a fully built-out profile got called back 71% more often than those with no profile at all. A strong presence isn't decoration, it's leverage for more opportunity. The key takeaway is that an online presence isn't something to throw together during the job hunt. It's something built beforehand. Start early, and by graduation, your profile is already doing some of the work for you. For Stratazine, I'm Nathan.
Awesome. So I want to turn that topic to you all. We're going to be talking a lot about brand presence and why it's important and seeing it from different lenses and perspectives. But an interesting statistic I want to share with the group. According to a peer researched paper through ResearchGate, 54% of social media users under 25 reported regretting the posts that they put on social media. So my question for you all is, how much should a single post or photo be allowed to outweigh someone's actual qualifications for a job? Have any thoughts on that?
I think that's really interesting. I'll take that question. I think if what you had posted doesn't align with that company's views, say that company is like a vegan company, but then you have mukbangs of like eating Chick-fil-A and like all of these meat products, like that probably is something that's going to highly impact whether you are going to get hired at that company or not. But I think if it's just like heartfelt like posts, I don't think that it should have that much of an outweigh. I really think it only should matter if it doesn't align with the company's views.
Interesting. I really like that perspective because it's an expression of you, right? But you also have to align with what the company you want to align yourself with, which makes sense. Then perhaps another question that I want to ask the group: what limits, if any, should employers have on hiring people based on their social media timelines?
I'd like to answer that. I also think that this adds to what Sunny said. I think that having relevant, using the social medias that they look at for possible candidates to hire, looking at relevant stuff is important. I think that is exactly what the limit should be, is keeping it relevant to what the job is and to what is current. I think if you're looking at 12-year-old posts and using that as a deciding factor on whether or not the person is a good fit for the job role, I do not think that is fair to the person. I don't think it actually judges well enough as a hiring decision.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nathan. With this understanding of why it matters as a whole, it's also vital to understand how your online presence needs to differentiate from yourself. Genevieve, you've been looking into how students can manage their private and professional identities.
Thanks, Corey. It's kind of interesting how we're perceived online. It doesn't matter if it's a private account or a professional account. The employers, everybody will find you. So it's kind of scary because you have to watch out what you put out. To segue into my video, though, I want you guys to think about your personal accounts and maybe how they are perceived.
Professional versus private identities. Social media is no longer for merely keeping up with friends. We have a professional perception to worry about as well. Based on a statistic from Career Builder, we see that 70% of employers use social networking sites, 58% look into your supporting qualifications, and 50% of employers search your professional online persona. That makes us think of the first impressions people have of us online. Media psychology notes that when positive emotions are presented with your images and comments, then you have a higher chance of getting that first interview. So the more positivity we share, the better. According to another study, problematic social media posts hinder your job opportunities. Do you have something online that can be perceived in the wrong way? A bad joke, slander, an offensive meme, or other offensive content? Media psychology suggests to choose which accounts you want to share online. Do you need 2 separate accounts, a private and a professional one? Be aware of your digital footprint. It reaches in various corners of the world, and this all shapes the future job opportunities which will come your way. For Stratazine, this is Genevieve.
Taking that all in, knowing that there's a difference between personal and professional accounts, what do you guys think should students do? Should they have a professional and a private one?
If I were to interject, and anyone else can too, this is why I believe. I think it overall depends on how naturally you present yourself, but I also don't see an issue with keeping them both separate. Like me, for example, I only have a personal social media account, but I plan to make a more professional one because there's just certain things on my personal that not that they're inappropriate or really like show a mask that I wear. It's still me, but it's just things that I believe employers or potential maybe customers just don't need to see, like certain life events or just like certain instances I felt like posting. And overall, again, it mostly just depends on how you naturally present yourself. So if you're pretty naturally professional, I don't see an issue with keeping them both together. But as long as they're both positive and kindly reflective of who you actually are, then I think there's no issue with trying to separate the two.
Yeah, thank you. If you're gonna have a personal and a professional one, maybe you should really work on your privacy settings just to make sure. I'm kind of going off of that. How much of your real personality should be showing on if you're gonna keep them open on your accounts?
I'd like to take that. I think it goes back to what your video said, where you should be professional and positive. I think it's totally fine to be genuine and to put yourself out there, your real self out there. But there's things in any aspect of any social sphere that you don't share. You don't share super personal things with people you don't know. Likewise, you shouldn't share super personal or personal ideologies that you have on your socials. You should keep it still genuine to be who you are, but I think you should be able to filter through what is appropriate and what's not appropriate to share.
Wouldn't you think that, like, if you want to share your point of view, that you should still present yourself in a way? Because, like, what if somebody, like, really relates to that?
I think that's a great point. I think what Ryan said kind of answers that, is that having the difference between the personal and professional accounts. The personal account, you can put those privacy settings where only those that you want to see what you've shared can see that. And then the professional, where anybody can see it. Don't share your controversial or hot takes on those.
Yeah. Thank you, Jonah.
One variable that we could also consider is that some companies will actually request to view your personal account if you hire or start the hiring process, which could, be red flag for some people, or maybe provide some difficulty or some friction. My response to your question, Genevieve, I think that as long as your personal and your professional accounts, should you have both, reflect the same positive message of, the good things in your life, I see it as a positive, and I think that would be overall a good thing for your brand.
Of course. Thanks.
Good. Sabra, you've been looking into how college students can start now by building a good online presence. Would you tell us more about that?
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Corey. I really enjoyed researching how we can build a good presence, online presence for our future, and there's a lot of things that go into that. And so let's take a look at the video.
Building an online presence. What is an online presence? An online presence is your digital footprint. Your digital footprint is the body of data you create through your online activities. Our digital footprint can be just as important as our resume. Your online presence is often the employer's first impression of you. 43% of HR professionals use public social media online searches when screening for candidates, and 36% have rejected applicants because of what they have found on the internet. Don't let that be you. Start now by Googling yourself. Clean up your online presence and delete anything that doesn't align with how you want to be presented as a strong professional. A strong professional profile includes a professional photo, a clear summary, detailed education experiences, a highlight of skills, endorsements, recommendation, and customized headlines to make your profile stand out. Please don't post anything that can ruin your online reputation. Start now by building your professional online presence. Students should intentionally build a professional brand through a LinkedIn profile and other websites. This will help you stand out. This will help you showcase your skills. And if in doubt, ask yourself, if I were an employer, would I hire me? For Stratazine, I'm Sabra.
Thank you. So I just have a couple of questions that I want to open up to the group about that video. So my first one is, have you ever Googled yourself? And if so, what did you find? I did this because I was curious. It was wild. So would anyone like to answer that question?
When I Google myself, I find models usually.
Oh, yeah.
If I add my last name, then it really dives deep into actually me. And what was interesting was mostly my LinkedIn showed up, surprisingly, because I think my name is different everywhere else. But it was interesting because all these pictures showed up and these names, and I just created this YouTube video and that showed up as well. And so nothing is sacred. Everything is out there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, when I Googled myself, I was surprised what showed up, my high school, cross country stats. It's that's on the internet. Okay. I didn't even know. I don't know how much that would affect things, but it makes me think, oh my gosh, things from 5 years ago when I was in high school are, still on the internet. Another question is, do you think it's fair for employers to judge applicants based on their online presence and what they post?
I think to some degree, this kind of a callback to our previous conversation just a little bit, isn't it? And I think that's great because we're kind of coming full circle just a little bit. I think, like you were saying, Sunny, the reputation that a company has is very important for them. The brand is one of the most important things that a company can have. And taking that into consideration, if you show allegiance to that company, and you want to become a part of them, and have that association be present, I think, like you were saying, if they were to search your name, they're going to see all these details, and if that isn't in alignment with the company's values and mission statement, there's going to be some friction. So I think it is a totally fair thing for companies to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely agree. My husband, a couple years ago, was employed by the church in the Nauvoo pageant, and he played Hiram Smith. And because he was playing such a church leader, they asked him to not do certain things or to post certain things because he's representing the church. And so, yeah, I thought that was interesting. Thank you for your comments.
Yeah.
Fairness is an interesting word there as well, because I don't know that there's a good definition of fair, right? I think what's going on online is like massively invasive as far as like privacy concerns and everything. But at the same time, hiring somebody is a huge risk. You're investing a part of your brand. There can be like massive negative consequences if that goes poorly. And so I think that there's an interesting attitude amongst people that are online that feel like this is their right. And it is, but everything that we do publicly has consequences. And so something to think about. So Jonah, you've been looking into employer perception. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I could. Thank you, Corey. Your online presence is really just an extension of who you are, and what you share online just becomes another potential thing that employers might see about you. Let's take a look at the video to learn more.
Employers do check your online presence. According to LinkedIn Talent Solutions, recruiters increasingly use online information to evaluate candidates' skills, experience, and professionalism before making hiring decisions. Your online presence acts as an extension of your resume, helping shape a recruiter's first impression. Digital footprints influence hiring. According to Resume Builder's 2024 Hiring Trends Survey, 70% of hiring managers say they consider applicants' social media when making hiring decisions. The survey also found that inappropriate or unprofessional content can negatively impact a candidate's chance of being hired. Showing skills builds credibility. According to the National Association of Colleges and Employers, employers value demonstrated career readiness through communication, professionalism, critical thinking, and technology skills. Showing projects and measurable results gives employers evidence that you can apply those skills in real situations. A strong presence creates opportunities. According to LinkedIn's Future of Recruiting 2024, showcasing your skills and experience online helps recruiters identify qualified candidates for internships and entry-level roles. According to Forbes, a strong online personal brand helps employers better understand your expertise and differentiate you from other applicants. Before applying, search your own name and ask whether your online presence supports the story your resume tells. According to Forbes Coaches Council, reviewing a candidate's digital footprint gives employers additional insight into professionalism, communication, and overall fit. For Stratazine, I'm Jonah.
Personally, I think it's an unfortunate reality that the stuff that we post online that is meant to be personal doesn't stay personal. It really makes me think about how your digital footprint can really affect your professional life. It can either help your chances or hurt them. So a question I'd like to open to the group is, have any of you or somebody you know experienced a situation like this where something they've posted has affected their professional life?
I'll take that because I feel like that kind of goes back to what we were talking about before. My cousin really hated his job, and he posted about it all the time on Facebook and his boss and how he hated him. And because of that, he got fired. And this affected him and his ability to get hired in other places because he can't put his old company down as a reference. And so, I mean, you're not going to put down a reference that you know that they're not going to be a good, because you have done that. And so I think it's just really important. And it's also important to remember, if you're going to post something on the internet, you have to be willing to know that it's not personal anymore. If you want to share something with your family, if you want to share something with people close to you, there are other ways. There's text messages, there's email, there are group chats. If you don't want it out there, I would just not post it at all.
Yeah, I definitely agree. If it's something that's meant to stay personal and you would not want anyone that isn't in your personal sphere to know about it, I don't think it would be appropriate to post in a space that isn't personal. So knowing that employers might look at what your presence looks like online, has it changed the way you think about what you post?
I'll take that. Yeah, definitely. Going off of what you're saying, that just made me think of, I work at a soda shop right now, and I've been reviewing the drinks that we have, and I'm really scared to say that I don't like a drink. I just don't want my employer to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're giving us a bad name. You're telling people don't like this drink is gross, don't come here. But it's my personal account. It's not their account, and it's not backed up by them in any way, but I'm still a little nervous about that. And it was really interesting what you said about an employer could ask to view your personal account. Is I was thinking that's why my accounts are personal. They're not for everybody. They're for who I allow to see that. But I like what you're saying about, if it aligns with who you are and what you stand for, then it shouldn't be an issue. But I definitely do think about what I post, knowing that potential hiring agencies can see that.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
So another thing that people can see is skills, and the way that we present ourselves is going to indicate kind of what we can do. So Ryan, you took some time researching how our skills are shown online. Will you tell us about that?
Yeah, exactly, Corey. I love the discussion we've had so far about our digital footprint, because that's exactly why we need online portfolios. I dedicated my research and my video, as we're about to see, to what exactly are online portfolios, why we need them, and what should be included in them.
What if you have about 5 examples of your best work? Better yet, what if you have a full gallery or online presentation you could use to send to future employers? According to LinkedIn, online portfolios can be an essential tool in your job search, helping to showcase your work and experience and setting you apart from the competition. For certain professions that are studied in college, online portfolios are a necessity to create. Different studies that require portfolios range from design, creative arts, writing, and many more. A display of your unique skills could benefit you no matter what field you decide to pursue. For inspiration, it's possible to find many examples online on how to professionally design yours to suit your needs. The Wix organization advised to choose 8 to 12 of your strongest, most recent, and most relevant pieces that demonstrate the breadth of your skills. This way, you'll bring them attention to your strengths and maintain a consistent level of quality throughout your portfolio. Your personal portfolio is your way of showing the progression of your skills over time as you've studied and trained. It's wise to include your early work, not just to look back on your achievements, but also to show viewers and employers that you are willing and have proven to grow in your skills. The time you dedicate to learning produces more than just grades, but stories to share as well. For Strazine, this is Ryan.
With all of that, with that understanding of what exactly an online portfolio is, what do you all think both employers and simple viewers and passerbys look for in a portfolio?
Well, portfolios are probably one of the most important things a college student could be thinking about if they're trying to enter the workforce. It gives employers a snapshot into your accomplishments and who you are and how you present yourself. So I think my answer to that question would be they're looking for those key pivotal projects that make up your work skills, what you're able to accomplish. I think, but also something they don't really consider aside from the work aspect is how clean is it? Is it easy to navigate? Is it easy to work with? Because ultimately, if your portfolio is not easy to work with, you're probably not going to be very easy to work with either. So they might take that into consideration.
I love that. I love how you brought up it being easy to work with, because with understanding what needs to be involved and included in a portfolio. We need to take account what shouldn't be. And so what do you all think are some common mistakes you've seen in online portfolios?
As far as mistakes or things that you should leave out, I would say don't include anything that isn't your work. And so I've seen people include templates that they've kind of done a little thing with or whatever. Also, anything that shows that you don't have good taste or that you don't know how to do the thing that you're trying to show. So on the visual side of things, if you're showing visual portfolios, you should have good design. You should be able to follow good color theory and good typography. And so you should constantly, as you improve, be eliminating, kind of your worst pieces. And then the last thing is, and this might seem a little counterintuitive, but you might have done something that is really, really good, but it's not something that you want to be hired to do. It's not something that you enjoy doing. So I wouldn't show those things. The things that you tend to showcase online are the things that you're going to be hired to do. So I would avoid showing things that you don't want to be hired to do, even if it's good.
Yeah, thank you.
And then also just to add to that, I think students who are presenting their portfolio and aren't confident in it, their employer or the person that they're presenting it to is not going to have confidence in them. Like Corey said, they're taking a risk by hiring you because you're representing them. And so have confidence in what you do, I would say.
Thank you. Yeah. Confidence is key. And yeah, that's the most important thing you need with these portfolios. Yeah. Thank you all.
Good. Let's move on to the next segment. Sunny has researched why it's important to network and build relationships while you're still in college. Would you tell us more?
Yeah, thanks, Corey. I found it so interesting how beneficial networking is for us college students and how many resources that we actually have provided for us. Networking and building relationships. Building a relationship before graduation. Networking isn't just about finding a job after graduation, it's about building relationships throughout college. Research shows that students who network early feel more prepared for their careers and often find internships and job opportunities more easily. In fact, research shows that nearly 50% of recent graduates said they wish they had received more networking support while they were in college. Using LinkedIn and alumni connections. LinkedIn is much more than an online resume. It's one of the best ways to build a professional network. Students should connect with classmates, professors, and alumni. Those relationships can lead to internships, career advice, and future job opportunities. Research has shown that students who actively engage in LinkedIn mentorship communities are more likely to find internships and employment. Campus resources. Many network opportunities are already available on campus, but students don't always take advantage of them. Professors are one of the most influential mentors students have during college, and mentoring improves career confidence and employment outcomes. Other resources are career centers or fairs, alumni events, and student organizations such as societies. These can all help students build meaningful professional relationships that last beyond graduation. For Stratazine, this is Sunny. It was really interesting to me to learn about how beneficial this was and thinking to myself, why have I not gotten into networking sooner? I'm in my junior year of college. I should have been doing this the whole time. So it made me wonder, what do you think the biggest barrier is for college students when it comes to networking, and how do you overcome that?
I think the biggest barrier, especially if you're scared to go out of your comfort zone, is that taking that step and talking to the people and making those connections. But it's important to remember that if you don't put yourself out there, you won't get anywhere. So you really have to push yourself and find similarities between whoever you're talking to. And because you guys both have the same goal, you both want to dive deeper into this area of work because you both love it so much. And so if you work on those similarities, then I think you can make those better connections. I was actually talking to someone, and he was saying that the connections that you make with your peers in school is really important because you don't know if in the future you could kind of connect in a way that way and find job opportunities through your peers that you had back in college. So yeah.
I like that a lot. I was in a class, and this didn't happen in my class, but the teacher was telling us a story about networking, and she just was like, okay, somebody shout out their dream job, and their dream job was to be working at Disney. I think it was like an animator at Disney, and somebody else in the class had a connection, and they exchanged information, and now that person is working for Disney.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, it is so scary to put yourself out there, but you never know what could happen. So leading, my next question is, what would be your best advice for freshmen in their first year of college to start networking right away?
I think for me, the best advice I could give is just like what we talked about, is to build relationships before you need them. Like, I feel like it's so vital that no matter what field you're pursuing, what you're going into, in kind of light terms, make friends, build those genuine relationships, because yeah, you never know what kind of doors you can open by, connecting with these people who either have more experience over you or in a similar boat than you. Because when you start building those relationships, when you need them, there's chances you could risk coming off as more desperate and more fake. And so I think it's extremely vital to build a genuine connection.
Yeah, I really like that. I think that's,
Yeah, I'd like to add to that. I think it's important to not just build those relationships in school, but in all aspects of your life. Right now, I work at FedEx, and my boss, all the time, I'll tell him, this is what I'm learning in school, and this is how I've been applying it to my life. And he said, well, I'm trying to start a company. Can you help me design my website? I never had thought that in an out of school scenario would I be talking about school and somebody would want to, connect with me on that level.
Yeah, I had a similar situation. I was applying for a manager position at my job, and I didn't really want it, but the opportunity opened up to be their social media marketer person, and I got that instead, which that's what I'm studying in school. That's what I love to do. So just having that relationship and talking about what you're studying and your genuine interest, and when you sound so interested in it, like, people want to listen to you. I like that a lot. Thank you.
Great. As we wrap up, one last question for everyone. If there was one thing that you wanted your viewers to remember from this discussion, what would it be?
If it was just one thing, it would be to think about what you're posting on the internet and think about your future. Sometimes in college, you're just trying to survive one day at a time, but it's important to remember our future and why we're doing college, and so that we can get a job. Like our livelihoods, our families depend on this. And so just remembering that our decisions now can affect our future. Anyone else?
I think that's really well said.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. We've talked about authenticity as well today and a few other things. I think one thing to remember is that your online presence is an extension of yourself. And so actually becoming a good person rather than just pretending to be a good person, I think is actually probably one of the most important things. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Stratazine. Make sure to check out additional podcasts about digital and social media on our YouTube channel.